Welcome to Danny Designs. I'm Danny, level 100, and today on Danny Designs, I'm going to talk about a new idea for a quest and game mechanic for the game Warframe. As an avid Warframe player, I quickly amassed an arsenal of guns, swords, shurikens, and other such weapons. However, I quickly found out that sometimes some of these weapons didn't meet my high standards. For example, I went and did some research online and found out that a lot of players recommended the Boltor assault rifle as an excellent primary weapon. However, after I built it, added a couple forma, added an Orokin catalyst to double its mod capacity, maxing out its level, I was still unhappy with its performance. What am I supposed to do with a weapon I don't want? Well, as of right now, you can't seem to trade weapons, only blueprints. The only way to get rid of a weapon you don't want is to sell it. The only issue with selling a maxed out supercharged weapon is that the game will only offer you 7,500 measly credits. 7,500 credits is really nothing compared to the amount of resources you put into building the Boltor. The catalyst I installed costs 35,000 credits just to craft. There has to be a better way of getting rid of this weapon from my inventory. So you might be saying, well, Danny, how would you design a solution to this problem that you're having? And the solution is, I would introduce a smelting game mechanic. And for those of you out there who don't know what smelting is essentially the process of melting down weapons, items, gear, etc., and melt them down back into the resources they once were. Game mechanics such as this have existed in MMOs for quite some time. So let's break it down. The Boltor costs 25,000 credits, 2 neurodes, 100 alloy plates, 900 salvage, and 600 polymer bundles. The blueprint itself is 25,000 credits. Once we smelt down the Boltor, we'll get back all the component pieces. For example, if we were to smelt the Boltor, we would get a percentage of these components. For example, instead of 2 neurodes, we would get 1 back, we would get 25 alloy plates, 255 salvage, and 110 polymer bundle. The only thing you wouldn't get back is the credits and possibly the blueprint. These items would be lost during the smelting process. If an item had an Orokin catalyst, reactor, or forma built in, they might get the blueprint back, they might get more components back, they might get the forma, catalyst, or reactor back undamaged. Depends on how we balance it out. And of course, how would you obtain the smelter, you say? Well, like anything in Warframe, you would have to go on a quest. To begin the quest, you're going to have already met Maru, you're going to have a mastery rank of 3 or higher, and you would have to have completed the Stolen Dreams quest. Quest Prologue has the player head over to Maru's Bazaar on Earth, where they can talk to her directly. Once you meet Maru, she'll explain that she wants a corpus smelter so that she may melt down rare materials such as ore. Smelting materials are much easier to smuggle as they are untraceable. She explains in order to obtain a corpus smelter, the best smelter in the galaxy, you need to locate a secret corpus manufacturing plant, break in, and steal it. She promises you a blueprint to a miniaturized smelter that will fit aboard your landing craft and inside your dojo. Maru plans on sneaking in, but sneaking undetected requires the stealth technology of a Tenno landing craft, not to mention if things go south, she'll need your help escaping. Mission 1. Locate the coordinates. This is a spy mission on the planet Neptune. The player and Maru land on a Corpus outpost undetected. The player must use stealth to infiltrate their way through this mission. Once inside, they must hack all 3 terminals in order to find the coordinates. If the alarm is tripped, 1 hyena proxy will be sent after the player. Mission 2. Track down the Bursas. After reviewing the data from Mission 1, Maru will inform the player that the coordinates have been scrubbed from the records. However, there was some data pointing to a certain number of Bursas that have originated from an unknown facility. The player must track down these Bursas and try to find any data they can that will lead to their origins. The player can play any mission on Neptune as long as a Bursa is capable of spawning during that mission. Only 1 Bursa per node will yield data. The Bursa must also be from Neptune. A Bursa from any other planet will not provide the player with the coordinates they are searching for. The player must hack 3 bursas in total to help Maru pinpoint their origin, i.e. the secret manufacturing plant. Once the player has gathered all 3 coordinates, Maru will then tell the player the next mission location. Mission 3. Take down the defenses. This is a deception mission. Maru and the player head to an outpost on Neptune. Maru gives the player a key that will hack the computer system on the outpost, allowing Maru and the player access to the main facility and the smelter. As the hack begins to go through, we're greeted with a cinematic. Suddenly, a familiar face pops up on screen, Alad V. He says he saw the hack coming and laid a trap. The facility suddenly begins to depressurize. Alad V taunts the player as hordes of Corpus machines begin to pour into the halls. The next part of this mission is a survival mission. The player Maru must survive for 15 minutes. Lotus will help the player find life support capsules. Only Corpus machines will be spawned during this segment. MOAs, drones, etc. The player will have to survive long enough for Maru and the Lotus to secure an extraction point. After the mission has been completed, aboard the player's ship, Maru tells the player that she was able to trace the incoming message from Alad V, and his location seems to match another set of coordinates found in the data from the hacked bursas. She then sends the coordinates to the Lotus and tells the player to be ready to infiltrate the next facility. Mission 4. Infiltrate the hidden facility. This is a mobile defense mission on Neptune. Once the player Maru land on this facility, the player must make their way to the first warehouse undetected. From there, they must begin hacking a computer terminal. Maru will hack the second terminal and will sync up the hacks so they will go undetected. If the player is spotted, they must kill the enemy that spotted them immediately or else the mission will fail. The hack will take 3 minutes to go through. The player will have to stealthily eliminate any Corpus units that get too close to the terminal. The easiest way to accomplish this is with a silent weapon or a stealth takedown. Once the computer terminals are hacked, Maru will ask the player to meet her inside a vent overlooking an assembly line inside the main facility. The player must make their way to her, once again avoiding detection. Once they reach Maru, a cinematic will start. Maru and the player look down on the factory floor. They see Alad V and his Corpus advisors overlooking the production of a new machine. The player spots a heap of damaged warframes being disassembled and smelted down. Lotus tells the player that this must be where Alad V studies the Tenno for his work on the Snuka project. Maru reminds the Tenno that they must retrieve the smelter. Upon witnessing the damaged and dead warframes being smelted down, the player will then suddenly attack Alad V, revealing themselves. During the attack, Alad V will flee, leaving Maru and the player surrounded. Mission 4A. Rescue the captive Tenno. While dealing with the Corpus forces, Maru sends Lotus information on the layout of the facility. Lotus confirms that there appear to be holding cells with prisoners. Against Maru's wishes, the player will travel to the holding cells and attempt to free the captive Tenno. Maru, frustrated by this, goes off on her own as the Tenno rush to the rescue. The player must escort the freed Tenno to the extraction point. Upon arriving at the extraction point, the captive Tenno will board the player's landing craft, but suddenly the extraction point will be ambushed by a new and improved Snuka Hunter. Mission 4B. Eliminate the Snuka Hunter, exterminate. The player must now escape the extraction point. They must eliminate all the remaining enemies in the facility. Alad V taunts the player. He boasts that his Snuka Hunter is the latest prototype and made from parts of fallen warframes. This Snuka Hunter is unlike any the player has encountered before. It has a pair of shield ospreys following it at all times, which must be destroyed before it can be damaged. Not only is it faster and stronger than previous builds, it also has a few Warframe-based abilities, such as the Rhino Charge and Excalibur's Radio Blind. With all the enemies in the Snuka Hunter destroyed, Alad V will curse the Tenno. Lotus reveals the next extraction point, and once the player boards their landing craft, they will notice that the Snuka Hunter dropped a block of ore. Mission 5. Escort the Smelter. This is a hijack mission on Neptune. Upon arriving back on their landing craft, the player will receive an incoming video message from Maru. She will urge the player to return to the facility as she has found the smelter and has loaded it onto a Corpus cargo rover. She just needs the Tenno's help to get the transport off planet. She urges the player to help her retrieve the cargo. Lotus will remind the player that the smelter can help the Tenno in their cause. The player will then return to Neptune in order to help Maru. The mission plays like a standard hijack mission, except Maru will join the player in defending the rover, and there will be plenty of Bursa and other Corpus machines trying to stop the player. Once the rover reaches the extraction point, the player will see a cinematic where Maru thanks the player for assisting her in her mission. Shortly after that, she will send the Tenno a blueprint for the Smelter Foundry upgrade segment. The smelter can be built inside the dojo of a player's clan and inside of their landing craft. Some of you might be curious, what does it take to build the Smelter Foundry segment for your landing craft? I took the time to write up all the ingredients. On top of having the blueprint, you're going to need 250,000 credits, 2 Argon crystals, 5,000 ferrite, 1,200 pieces of salvage, and 10 field drones. It'll take 48 hours, and if you would like to rush the build, it will cost 30 platinum. So there you have it. So that's my idea for a new Warframe quest, some of their parts, and a new Warframe game mechanic, the Smelter. If you liked it, please leave a comment below. If you didn't like it, leave a comment. I love to hear from you guys. Comments, critiques, all welcome. And if you'd like to keep in touch with me, you can follow me on Twitter at DannyLV100, DannyLV100.com. You can follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/DannyLV100. Feel free to join my live streams. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you later.